Yo, we back. Last week, no show. Personal stuff went down. But we back this week. Full effect, everything. Situations are great. WrestleMania was this weekend.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait, pause. Hold on, stop. Before we even get into all that, I just not realized something. We didn't do the intro.
I mean, WrestleMania got me in the chokehold right now. It's your boy June. Westside Izzy P. This is the show about another podcast, episode 46.
46.
46.
Took you a second to think about it. Lord.
The game, like we almost to the 50 piece.
Oh yeah, we about to drop a 50 burger.
Touchdown away.
Oh yeah, pretty much. We about a 50 burger away. We about to get that going. But yo, WrestleMania.
No, before that, how you been? What's going on in the world of Westside Izzy P? See, you jumping the gun, see? You having a moment. What's going on in the world of Westside Izzy P, man? We got a lot to talk about. We ain't had no show last week.
So first you have a moment, and then I got a moment.
Yeah, we don't know how to act. We take 1 week off.
And all of a sudden, how things go.
Just forget I said like we ain't got no home training. Our mothers raised us better than this.
Yes, they did. They did raise us better than this.
But go ahead. What's going on?
Do I want to speak on this one?
You ain't got to, because I ain't gonna speak on mine.
I'm gonna say this. It's been an interesting week.
Very. On both sides.
It's been a very interesting week on both sides. But when one door closes, another one opens, and thankfully I've had another door open like relatively quickly, like literally within.
That was like fast. Like the Lord said, "Don't worry about it." Open that door. Let me close this one. Open this one for you.
Literally, I feel like how things kind of shook out, and if we'll kind of delve into it, off camera, whatever. But like how everything kind of played out, I feel like maybe there was a lot more left. Kind of like how we were talking about it before we came on the camera. There was a lot more left on the table. More points were left on the board on the field. So like, who knows? We'll see how things shake out this time around. But grateful, blessed, not worried about anything. I'm at peace, and I'm just like, I'm on a high right now, bro. Like WrestleMania 40. Like I watched all of the WrestleMania weekend. I watched Stand and Deliver. I watched WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. Like, bro, what? Woo!
I saw Stand and Deliver. Like I said, with me, same thing. Like a lot of stuff went on last week. Last Friday was a roller coaster. Man, like health is your wealth, people. Just always know that. Health is your wealth. You got to make sure everybody, your loved ones, are taken care of. Health is your wealth. And when they get their health back into their back going, you got to make sure they keep it because we want them to be here for a long time.
Hug your peoples. Tell them you love them. Drink your water. Be healthy because we want to live as long as possible. You know what I'm saying?
And like, yeah, man. So that was went on with me. So like, yeah, I'm well rested now. I feel a lot better than what I felt last week. I feel way more better. Like,
you know what I will say though?
What's up?
After this, little weird tidbit that I've gone through, I can say that I've gotten my rest. I've started getting my rest back because the schedule that I had prior, I was like going to bed like super late. I was getting out of work late, like stupid late. But now I've been able to like get some sleep, and like I've been sleeping in a little bit better. So I feel like my body is starting to catch back up to like getting its rest and everything else in between. So we'll see how it goes with me swinging with how things are playing out right now. But other than that, though, bro, glad to hear everything is smooth on your side again. Glad to see you're back at 100% and everything's kind of going off on your end. And before we even continue and before we talk about WrestleMania, we got to talk about this this music thing you got going on right now. This man right here want to send me a little something on the side and tells me check the email.
It's just stuff, man. Just
Boy,
things.
let's talk about it real quick. This man has, I believe, this is one of my favorite songs that you've put out. Journals Part 2. I love this song. Love the dynamic. I was when you first sent me the track and whatnot to listen to it, I told you immediately I was singing along to it because like this song just it resonated and I was just like, bro, this is really good.
Appreciate.
This is really good. But you have stepped up another level. You have done a remix to Journals Part 2, added a guest.
My boy Tommy Raps. Shout out to my boy Tommy Raps. Let me tell you something. I've been wanting to work this guy for years. Like before I was even recording my own music, I wanted to do something with this cat. And it's always been a mutual respect thing. Like it's always been like real mutual respect. When I first got put onto his music, tweeted him. We had a little back and forth conversation. And he's followed me on Twitter back then immediately. And we just been talking back and forth ever since. Like it just shows you like when you genuine with somebody and they see you being genuine with somebody, you interact with everything they post, you interact, you engage. Mm-hmm. And just from the small details of the conversation, put how I said I want this, want you to be on the song, like the little minor detail, like, yo, you know, I'll talk about that off camera too, but it's like, I bet we're going to, cool. And it wasn't even, I got you. I'm taking care of this film festival I'm doing, but I got you when I get back. I've been had this verse for like 2 months now. I just sent it off yesterday. I'm just like,
oh, you've been sitting on this.
I had this verse for at least about 2-3 months almost.
Wow.
And I just wasn't ready to like,
put it out.
Yeah, I'm like, like I said, like, you know, this stuff just felt like I got good news have been just pouring out, you know what I mean? Some show news just came up.
Oh, really?
And then I was just in a creative mood. Then all I had to do was switch that, take the second verse, I'll add that verse to it, and
yeah,
it was very cheap to do. It wasn't that expensive. I was like, all right, let me go ahead and do this. Let me quit procrastinating. I'll probably never do it. So I did it, and the rest of history. And music videos and everything out. Green tea's out. Everybody having a good time. Music is just out.
This man right here, he is knee deep in the music streets right now. He is establishing himself as an up and comer in the hip hop scene out of Dallas. This man right here, he's been holding it down for a while now, and now he's just really elevating his game, bro. Like one day you are gonna be in the House of Blues, my friend.
Man, look, I be telling myself that, I'm like, yo, that'll be the day.
One day I'm going to find a way out to Dallas. I'm going to make it out that way, and I'm going to hear.
You be making all kinds of money, man. You know you be out here in these streets, man. You making
all I know is that like when one day I'm going to make it out that way to a point where like I'm gonna visit, and I'm gonna look up one day and I'm gonna see on the House of Blues card or the little announcement banner, whatever they have out there.
Oh yeah,
JunesEightyEIght with a date, and I'm gonna be like, I got to go to that show. And I'm sneaking. I'm not gonna get a ticket. I'm gonna sneak in through the back.
I think they gonna sneak into the show. You ain't worth crap, bro.
I'm gonna sneak in. I'm gonna just slide right in.
My man said he's sneaking. He ain't getting no ticket. He just said, "Nah, I'm just going."
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look for one of them like containers that have like a guitar case or like one of them like cello cases or something.
Wow.
Have them carry me in.
Man, I mean, this cello kind of heavy than what I normally is.
Yeah, it's big. There's a big case. So you just, hop right in, close it, and just have somebody wheel you in.
Be like, getting one of the drum cases. Like, I get this case real
quick. Exactly. Just wheel you in.
What are you doing? Like, yeah, surprise.
Literally.
Speaking of surprises, WrestleMania.
Woo! WrestleMania 40.
Hold on, before we get there, I had the best shrimp and grits Saturday.
Oh boy, let me tell you. Hold on. Shrimp and grits. Now let me tell you, I went to a wedding like a week and a half ago.
I remember that.
They had shrimp and grits.
How was it? It was like that, bro?
Bro, second wedding I've been to where they've had shrimp and grits.
Look, cause my
I'm telling you right now, I never had shrimp and grits before. Never.
look,
I'm telling you right now, I am a fan.
look here. I had shrimp and grits. My aunt did my uncle a 70th birthday party
Okay.
at Papa Do's, and I'm like, I didn't know what the menu was gonna look like. I didn't know what it was gonna be, whatever. So I'm looking at the menu. I said, "Oh, they got shrimp and grits on the menu. The best." They had a little kick to them. The grits was the star of the show. The shrimp, they had the gravy and the stuff. It was like, man, look, photo evidence. Like,
Oh, he got
I got the photo.
Oh, he got the photo evidence of the shrimp and grits. Look at that. Right there. It's so tasty.
Bro, it was, and the shrimp had that char grill to it.
Woo.
Like you say, man, Chef's Kiss, it was a good time.
It was a good
The
time.
best. The sweet tea was kind of mid. It was ass. I ain't gonna hold you. They beverage selection wasn't that great. Everybody would talk about it like, yo, the sodas was flat, the tea wasn't that. Yeah, you can't have it all. But I missed WrestleMania night one because of the party. I wasn't upset about it. I kind of knew how WrestleMania night one was gonna go. Cause I was just excited for night two. But
Right. So the
I
only
was
okay, so I
night one.
saw night one. So I saw Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania night one, night two. Night one, if I was to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, possibly a 7.5 out of 10. Like there were some matches that to me should they have been on the card? No, but I get why they did it. I get it. I get it. I mean, you had Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley start out with the women's title, which was crazy. Supposedly Rhea Ripley had she was having a panic attack before the match.
Really?
It was reported by multiple outlets that Rhea Ripley had a panic attack before the match, and then um, Becky Lynch was dealing with strep throat and with a fever that went up to like 102. And they went out and put on, I believe, one of the craziest matches of the night. It was a solid match.
Right.
So they set the tone. Um, then you had Legado de Fantasma. You had Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom Mysterio taking on Rey Mysterio and Andrade in a tag team match. And the match was all right. Like it was a lucha match. Like it was solid for the most part. There was a pretty cool little kink, like a little twist at the end where you see these two large buffed luchadors in like Philadelphia Eagles masks.
Right. So Philadelphia Eagles mask. You good? You what? Wait, did we? So he said Philadelphia Eagles mask was a good time. It was Jason Kelsey. It was Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. I didn't see that part, but when I saw the part, I was like, you good now? Like you having a me moment?
Yeah, had someone like pop up. We got a partial eclipse going on right now.
Oh, okay.
Got a partial eclipse right now. It's pretty dope. But um but yeah, so we had
Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey.
okay, okay, thank you. So we had two buff white guys come out of the crowd and they intervene on Rey Mysterio's half because what happens is Escobar has Rey Mysterio kind of like hanging over the rim, over the side of the ring, and like he tells Dom to go get a chair and to like bash his deadbeat dad's brain in because like the way that Rey was like sitting on the edge of the ring, um, you see uh you see him kind of like where his head is at is where the ring post is at. And you see Dom grab a chair, and next you know you see these two guys in a luchador mask grab the chair, like they just grab the chair away from Dom. And you see one of them just grab Dom and just throw him into the ring post and throw him back into the ring or whatever. And then after the match, they take the mask off, and you find out it's Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. And I knew one of them was Jason. I didn't know who the second one was. I was like, that can't be Travis. It was a cool little pop, a little cool little moment. It was dope. It was a dope moment. Um, then you had the Jimmy versus Jay Uso match, which was that was the underwhelming match. It was very
You
underwhelming.
know what? I'm gonna speak on. I didn't see them at. I don't plan on going back and revisiting that match. Cause I remember they said, I don't know if there was a Kathy Kelly or somebody interviewed. They're like, "Yo, we want to do a match at WrestleMania. Like, we want to end our career like on the tail end of our career when we want to at least have a match together at WrestleMania."
Right.
And here's the issue with what I heard. Everybody was saying, a girl that we both know said it wasn't that bad. Shout out to her. She was like, it wasn't that bad, but everybody else said that match was just terrible. It's like you got two guys with the exact same move set.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there was nothing different. Like, I mean, even the build up I would say was kind of mid to me. I'm like, yo, you should have brought Rikishi out. You should
Yeah.
have.
See that. Okay, there's something there. Corey Graves, while the match was getting underway or whatever, he was like, before the match started, they asked, about Rikishi, because they're both the sons of Rikishi. And Corey was like, "Yeah, I spoke to Rikishi earlier while we were at the Hall of Fame ceremony or whatever." And he's like, they're torn because, like, this isn't them, the whole infighting. This is kind of like, kind of hurting the family, whatever. And I'm like, look, I get it, but like, should they have brought out Rikishi? I think that would have like made it more. That would have brought more impact to the match itself. But like you pointed out, they both have the same move set. They both know each other. It's like the build up, the way they had the packages and everything for this match. It was great. I loved it. But it's just like the match itself didn't really deliver up to like the way that it was hyped up. Granted, I get it. They wanted to have this match one-on-one at Mania towards the tail end of the career, and they got it. They got their this moment for them, and no one can take that away. It's just like they could have done so much more. There could have been so much more to brought to the table in this
It
match.
wasn't like
It
when
was
Matt Jeff fought at WrestleMania about 15 years ago.
it wasn't Edge Christian. It wasn't Jeff and Matt. It
It
was just
wasn't like
like there was more left. There was more that they could have done.
yeah, it's like because Matt and Jeff they have two different wrestling styles. But
Mhm.
Jimmy and Jay are mirror. It's like Matt and Nick Jackson wrestling. Somebody actually said on Twitter they owe Matt and Nick Jackson an apology after seeing that, seeing that Jimmy and Jay match. I'm like, gosh, damn, it was the match that bad. I'm
Also,
like,
I don't think it was the match. There was a lot more left that could have been done in that match. But also, a lot of people were basically kind of like going after the crowd in Philadelphia on night one. A lot of people like were like, I watched night one and night two. Night one was partly cloudy and it was like 52 degrees out there with wind chills up to like 10, 15 degrees. Like the wind was kicking up. The wind was coming out of the north at like 15 miles per hour. So that wind chill really brought the temperature down a bit. So people were cold. So they really didn't have a lot to like cheer for when you're cold. It's kind of hard to do so.
what I always tell you, it's cool to be cold and you win, but when you cold and losing, and this is wrestling, it's different. Like you just got to sit there and just take it. Like it's like I'm like I remember shout out to Silent Monster. He was saying years ago when WrestleMania, I think it was the year that Cena and a Rock faced for the first time. He said, "Yo,
The one in Miami or the one in New York?
the one in New York."
No, so that's the second time.
The second time, like,
Yeah, the second time. The first time they faced off against each other was the one in Miami.
and so he was like, "Yo, it's still cold in New York in April. It's still cold here. It don't start warming up until like May. They don't
Yeah,
start warming up until like the end of May." He said, "So it's like it's still cold here."
it's
So
kind of down here where I'm at here in Georgia. Like, yeah, it's warming up, but it's not as like 75, 80 degree-ish type of warm. Like around like close to the end of April, beginning of May, that's when the temperature really kicks up, and that's when you start to really feel that summer heat build up a bit. It's the same thing up in New York.
and it's like I get it. And our boy Drew was saying, "Yo, they said Philly. They were saying, yo, man, tell WWE never to go to Philly again because the crowd was trying like, bro, it's cold. What do y'all not understand about
The weather played a factor.
like it's cold? Like I say, we football fans. We love college football. I got on my joint I would be remiss. I would be disappointed if I'm at an Ohio State game and my team is losing and I'm cold. Like it's different. You get a different shot of adrenaline when you're winning, and it's a different sport, so you can't really
especially a night game. Like I
at
remember,
night.
me and my dad, and I know this is in college, but still, like it goes along with what we're talking about here. Me and my dad went to go see Jacksonville, the Jaguars play. It was a night game versus the Colts. It was their the very last game of the season.
Right.
And I remember my dad, he bought the tickets. It was for a 1:00 game, but it got shifted to a 4:00 game, right?
Right.
I was like, hey, look, it doesn't bother me. We can go watch it.
Right.
So we go out there to Jacksonville. We go watch the game, right? The energy shifted. Now, granted, Florida is about 60, 70 degrees. But by that time, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, sun's done gone down, lights done came on. It's getting a little bit brisk. Bro, I'm telling you right now, though, Jacksonville was up big on freaking Indianapolis. And the energy was just crazy in the stadium, bro. You get when you're losing, yeah, there's not a lot to cheer for. But when you're winning and it's a little brisk, oh, you don't mind the cold. Like you're winning, bro. You are on a high. Like you don't need no shot of gym, no nothing. Like you just like let's go.
And when it comes to WWE, I'm like, bro, y'all gotta understand. If this was in a heated arena, stadium, dome.
Like AT&T Stadium, for example.
AT&T, what's another one?
The Superdome in Louisiana.
Superdome, it would have been different. But y'all talking about outside at the Lincoln
Financial.
The Link. Come on, y'all. Have some common sense. Y'all knew what the weather gonna be. Y'all got there. Y'all know it's gonna be cold. Come on.
I will say this though. Night 1 versus night 2's crowd was completely off the charts. The energy from start to finish, 61 degrees. It was warmer. Everybody was able to enjoy themselves. The energy in the building, it from the very jump, from the very start, from Seth and freaking Drew McIntyre's match all the way to the very end was electric. But before we get into night 2, we got to finish night 1. So freaking Jay,
you got to talk about the. I didn't see night 1. I ain't see night 1.
Yeah, so night 1, Jimmy Jay left a lot to be, a lot was left on the table, but it was a solid match. I'll give him that. Gunther versus Sami Zayn, IC title. Holy crap, what a match. And the build-up to this match was just beautiful. Let me just paint the picture. They play the package, and then you see Sami Zayn in the back. He's walking towards where he's going to walk out his entrance, right?
Right.
Sami Zayn's wife and son, they meet him out in the back. Has a moment with his wife and son. Basically tells her, leave little one back here. I don't want him to see what's going to happen out there.
Oh, he put a Mick Foley versus the Mankind versus The Rock. Okay, I see what he did there.
Yeah, so he tells her, leave the little one behind, leave him in the back, let him watch. Because the little one's like, I want to hear your music. Like, you'll hear it. It's going to be on the TV. His wife was out there, front row. But son was in the back, right?
Right.
So camera follows him as he's going out. He sees Chad Gable in the hallway, and he's like, all right, let's go. And he's like, all right, you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. And Chad kind of stops him. He's like, you got to go out by yourself. He's like, what? After all we did, you're not going to go out there with me? He's like, you've always had this by yourself, Sami. It's time for you to show it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It gives him the pat on the back, and he goes on his way, right? So Sami's hyping himself up, right? He walks by a table, hits the table, kicks the casing and other. He's hyping himself up, right? He walks all the way up to where the entrance is for the to go through the curtain.
Yeah.
And right there, as he turns the corner, he stops. He's looking. Camera pans. Kevin Owens is standing right there in the entrance. They give each other a hug. Kevin kind of gives him a little velo slap on the face. He's like, win this! And I don't know what, but that just boosted Sami up times 10. and like he walks through, goes to where the curtain's at, his music cuts on, you see the camera follow him through the curtain, and then it cuts onto him on the WrestleMania stage, and the crowd was like on fire for him. Like out of all the matches on night one, Sammy versus Gunther, and then the Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Rock, and Roman Reigns match, those two matches were the most energetic matches of the night.
Right.
Like those two were the most. Those two had the crowd on lock. From those two matches were the ones that had the crowds hot.
I can tell because I feel like with Sammy, even though I didn't see the match, I knew that Sammy. I feel like Sami Zayn is one of the wrestlers. Like he's always like, from as I've been watching, he's always been like that underdog character. Like like
he's the heart and soul. Like if you think about him when he was in NXT, he was the heart and soul of NXT.
Yep.
He carried that into WWE, and for him, his journey from NXT to the main roster has been something special because like he was one of the guys who like when he came in, tag team specialist, he's won a couple of titles.
Oh, pause that. We forgot to say, speaking of titles being won, shout out to Mark Briscoe, always heavyweight champion.
Mark Briscoe finally won the big one in Ring of Honor.
And I laughed when I saw it. I could hear Jay talking shit to Mark already. I could just hear him talking just big shit. Like, yo, you think you better now. Hey, you think you? I could just hear Jay talking smack.
Yeah. I can hear Jay Briscoe like, hey, you think you big shit now, huh? Hey, you got to win this thing a couple more times before you beat me.
Still talking smack from the grave. Like, I can hear it. But Sami Zayn.
But yeah, so like Sami Zayn, his storyline, his arc from where he is at now to like where he was at the very beginning, bro. Like his story arc has been just very interesting to say the least. And like, he kind of lost his way, joined the bloodline, and was like establishing himself. But then like he started like changing it up a bit, and then he leaves the bloodline. Him and Kevin Owens, they kind of team up again. They win the tag team titles. I believe it was night one last year on the main event. And now he's co-main eventing, in a sense, night one with Gunther. And that match was just like, it was the epitome of David versus Goliath. Like, Sammy was getting packed up. Like, he was getting thrown around, beaten out. And, like, freaking his wife, like I said, was sitting front row. And Gunther was, like, noticed her. And so, like, he pretty much made a point in several spots in the match to, like, look at her and be like, kind of like highlight, like, kind of like make fun of Sammy in front of her. Like, he was kind of like taunting her and making fun of her while basically like looking at Sammy like, this is like it's like him? Like, you really think he could beat me? Like, yeah, he's going to beat, like, you really believe this? Like, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to beat me or whatever, right?
Right.
Ultimately, like, the culmination of just how the story played out, Sammy winning the match was just amazing. Like, the way that it played out, Sammy gutted it out towards the end, wins the match. And then my favorite part, and this would be a thing going into night two.
Mm-hmm.
The announcer, Samantha.
Oh my gosh.
Her reaction to Sammy winning the Intercontinental title, when she had to announce it, you could hear the emotion, and it was raw. It was raw emotion. And like, like there are videos circulating around social media of her when she's doing these announcements of like announcing Sammy winning, announcing Cody winning, like announcing Damian Priest cashing in night two, like the emotion that she brought to the table, making these like announcements for the WWE crowd and whatever, like it was raw, it was passionate, it was authentic, it was real. It just added to like the excitement of seeing those moments happen, especially for Sammy winning the IC title.
Right.
And then you got Roman and Rock versus Seth and Cody. Basically, it was a it was a tag team. It was a really dope tag team match. Rock really playing into the final boss aspect. You know, he's the board member of the TKO. Like he's on the board, so like he has that power to pretty much say and do what he wants in this match. There was a moment where like all four of the guys were out of the ring, and you see the referee starts doing the 10 count.
Rock, you better not, can I fire you, something like that.
Yeah, he basically looks at the ref. He's like, hey, if you start counting or you count us out, you're fired. I'm firing you if you do that. Like basically saying like there's no count outs. Like you like, and basically like whatever happened that The Rock and Roman did to like Cody or Seth, that was like quote unquote illegal. The referee couldn't do nothing. His hands were tied because The Rock was basically telling him like you're gonna let this match happen the way it's happening.
And you know what's so good about, even though I didn't see it, you know what's so good about stuff like this? Like, I'm excited about being a wrestling fan again. I've always been like, if y'all know me and Izzy, this is just football is our thing we talk about. He loves all sports. He loves mainly football, hockey, baseball. That's his forte. We don't really touch on basketball like that. But football and goddamn wrestling is my
our bread and butter.
That's what harnessed our friendship to make our friendship even better. Cause like when you look at, I'm more of a wrestling fan now. Cause like for the past 2-some years, I really wasn't excited about wrestling. And when Bray passed, it really like
that happened when Bray passed away. When Bray passed away and when Jay Briscoe passed away, it was like the two cornerstones, the two guys that we really connected with. It just kind of like really dulled the thing of watching wrestling as a whole. Yeah. The one thing that I loved about this entire weekend was that we finally got away. I know what
you're about to say. Go ahead and say it.
We finally got away from the term sports entertainment.
And look,
we are back to pro wrestling. Pro wrestling is back. Like they were saying that so many times, and it took me a while to catch on, but people online were catching it. They were like, oh my gosh, like they got away from saying sports entertainment. And I follow, there's a reporter that I follow, and he had this, is like a source within WWE said they are making it more, they're taking more and more steps to get away from the phrase sports entertainment, and they're turning to pro wrestling.
I'm with it. And I was like, and like the thing, like I said, me going back to, I could probably speak for you with this, make me more of a fan of wrestling again. Like Bray Wyatt brought me back. I was like, okay, he's back. You know, he got fired. And I was back. Then I'm excited. And he passed. I'm less excited about it. And now I'm hearing, you know, Bo's coming back and all that. But now Triple H has really like got his finger in the game, like no pun intended. He really got his finger on the pulse of the wrestling game. Like, yo,
I'm gonna say this right now. This was the first WrestleMania of the Paul Levesque era, and boy, we knew like if there's one thing we knew about Triple H, about Paul Levesque, watching what he did with NXT, watching what he did with NXT, right? NXT wasn't as like, it didn't pop off the way that we see it now when it first started. Cody Rhodes' dad, Dusty, he was pretty much the guy that culminated NXT from the ground up, right?
Right.
And then when he passed away, Triple H took over. Mm-hmm. And I believe Triple H took over with the intent of like showing Vince that, hey, I can run this company. But Vince didn't want to do that. He didn't want to give the company to Triple H. He wanted to give it to Steph or to Shane. They didn't want to take it. So Vince wanted to keep it, like he wanted to try and keep control as long as he could or whatever. But Triple H was blooming and blossoming in NXT. Like you saw the product. You saw the characters develop. You saw the talent just really come to life and become themselves. And you saw how NXT, there was a moment where we were have these discussions where like we're saying NXT is better than Raw and SmackDown combined.
Bro, I remember those conversations. It's like
We were having the conversations that NXT right now, head and shoulders, is far better. Like their development is better, their storylines are better, the matches are better, like the talent is so much better. Like everything that is going on in NXT right now, Triple H has literally dug his hands into it, and he's culminated such a rich pool of talent and a rich culture over there, and it's translated to what we see now with NXT. And now he's the chief creative content officer with WWE.
And you know what's so special about it, Triple H and NXT?
What?
Put it like this, we both working, man. We work hard for our money. But think about it like this. Say you working back in your high school days, you get like a 15-minute lunch break, right?
Yeah.
That ain't nothing. You can't do nothing in 15 minutes. That's enough to get your food, sit down, power through it, and get back to work. But imagine you get another job. Now you get an hour lunch break. Your mind is blown. Like, I get an hour lunch break. What can I do in this hour? Like, I could go home, wash some clothes, put something in the crock pot, come back to work, and still have some goddamn time. You know, I think Triple H like, yo, I'm like, I always say like, if Triple H can do that with NXT, if he ever gets the keys to the car with WWE, it's gonna be a madhouse. It's gonna be a madhouse in a good way, like in his show. Like, yo, I feel like this is like the first time Triple H is like, yo, I told you I could do this. I showed you I could do it in NXT. Everybody that probably said, nah, he can't do that on him. He can't do that with big name guys. Look what he's doing.
Bruh, like the way that he has transformed the game, no pun intended.
Ah, so you did there.
The way that he's transformed WWE after getting the reins and really just operating and getting his hands into it with the creative and just directing the shows as a whole. Like you see the difference. You see the energy change. You see the culture shift. Matter of fact, I watched the 2-part interview that Triple H had before WrestleMania, and he talked about how CM Punk came into play.
Right.
Basically, talks were happening. Like Nick Khan came to Triple H, and he was like, "Yo, would you be okay if I spoke with Punk, like just to see what's going on?" And Triple H was like, "Yeah, go right ahead." He didn't think anything of it, but this is how far ahead in the planning. This is how far ahead in thinking he is. Even though he said he didn't think that Punk was going to agree to anything or there was anything going to happen with this meeting, he went out of his way to see what it would take to get Cult of Personality the rights, just so they could have it.
Yep.
And he said, nothing really happened, but the smoke really started to build when War Games Survivor Series in Chicago started really taking off. Like when it started, that's when he got word that, hey, things are picking up. We're gonna try and get this done. We're gonna try and get this done on ink. Get the ink to dry on the paper. And by the time that the main event was about to happen, that's when he found out that Punk basically agreed to the terms, signed on the line, and they snuck him into the back. And basically only 5 people knew that Punk had re-signed with WWE.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, not only did 5 people know, he let a couple guys know. And of course, you had the reactions. We all saw what happened. We all saw the reactions. We all know how things played out. But from that point on, him and Punk, they've gotten to a point where they're not everything is back on good terms, and you see the influence that Triple H has had in this moment, and you just see the difference in the culture. This isn't the same CM Punk that everybody's so familiar with. You know what I'm saying? This isn't the same old Punk that left on bad terms 10 years ago. No, this is a different Punk. He's matured. He's back and he's helping out with the younger talent and everything. And again, it just goes to show you what happens when Triple H got his hands on this business. And
And
like,
I was talking to my we're gonna push tonight too. I was talking to our boy Drew about it. Like, I was like, Triple H is the kind of guy like Vince McMahon didn't want to acknowledge anything outside of WWE. There was nothing else. It's just WWE. But Triple H, like, yo, there's other promotion out there, other things. He just sent Shayna Baszler over to GCW,
Evolve, GCW,
MLW, all that. And it's
dude,
like
Triple H had it. Like Triple H has had his finger on the pulse of the not only wrestling within the WWE, but on the outside within the indies. Like he's got freaking he got a Stardom free agent, Julia. I don't know if you know who she is.
I'm not familiar with it, but I've heard
She is one. Like think of Asuka and how she came into WWE, how hard hitting she was.
Yeah.
Julia is that.
Okay.
But her move, but her heart, but Julia is that, but she is stiffer and hits harder.
Okay.
Like her and Asuka and Io Sky and Kyrie Sane, if you put any of those two in, like if you pair up Julia with any one of those one-on-one, you're gonna get a Stardom match.
Right.
You're gonna get a Stardom match. And I see a lot more of this happening where like Stardom wrestlers are coming out to the States and they're joining in with like Ring of Honor and whatnot. But Julia's the big one. She's the biggest one coming out. So not only are you getting Julia, but you're getting the guy who was creative from there to begin with, or from like New Japan to begin with.
Right.
That just shows you how WWE has moved up and elevated themselves. But we got to go to night 2 because night 2 was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So night 2, Seth, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk is on commentary.
The funniest thing about this match is the definition of when you do too much.
When you do so good. Dude, when you do too much, but it works.
It works, but like when you do too much, this is what happens.
I loved it.
Out the gate, it's like if you ever played any WWE game and you get hit with that surprise where the dude got the finisher as soon as the match start and you get rocked and now you're like, wait, came out the gate, Claymore. I look down, Seth on the ground like, oh, it's that kind of match, huh?
But remember, Seth had the match the prior night with Roman, Rock, and Cody. So right. Of course he's banged up. But it was just hilarious how that match played out. Like you see Drew hit him with the Claymore to start out the match, tries to get the quick 1, 2, 3, doesn't play out. The match kind of goes on for like 5-10 minutes. And like it's just multiple Claymores and multiple like stomps. And you hear CM Punk on commentary, like making them both interesting and whatever. Ultimately, like you see Drew have his WrestleMania moment. He wins a title in front of a live crowd. And there was a really cool shot that the camera caught. You see Seth kind of like he rolls out the ring. He's going to start walking up the ramp. And you see him kind of turn around. And you see like the look in his eye, like he's kind of teary-eyed. And he looks at Drew. And you see Drew kind of has like the title in hand. He's looking at Seth. And he's like, Seth kind of points at Drew. And you could see where he mouths like, you effing deserve it. Basically kind of like handing the torch off, but unfortunately for Drew, he couldn't keep a hold of the torch.
This is what happens when you get cocky. All you have to do is take your ass up the ramp and celebrate and get your follower. But now you want to go to Mr. CM Punk and start talking big smack.
Wait. Can we talk about during the match for Drew McIntyre? He slides out the ring, goes to where his wife is at, grabs her phone and live tweets during the match, and it's up. He tweeted, "Bored at work, LOL."
See what happens.
And then
see how the Lord humbles you. See how the Lord humbles you. You get humble. Then he goes, Mr. Phillip Brooks talking smack. Gives him the DX chop. Next thing you know, sit your butt down. Punk takes the brace off his arm. Oh yeah, you thought I was playing. Walk out. Then Damian Priest come out and say, "Oh,
Well, okay, so let's talk about it. So Punk is giving freaking Drew McIntyre the business. Like he takes the brace off, smacks him with it, kicks him around a little bit, and next thing you know, you hear the Judgment Day's music kick off, and you see the Triple H meme where the camera pans up on his face.
oh yeah."
He's like, he has that smirk, and you're like, oh Lord. You see Damian Priest run down the ramp with the referee following him. He cuts the corner again, takes the briefcase, and pow, hits Drew McIntyre with it. And you just see CM Punk. He hops out the way and just hops on the table and just watches from the table. And you're just like, Punk
CM
is
Punk in the corner like
literally.
Do your thing, Damien. Do your thing, Damien.
Bro. And okay, so remember how I said Samantha, she has this emotion that she brings to the table whenever she does the announcing, right?
They hold on. When she flexed that right arm, it's over. When she get that flex to that arm tense up, she be like, yeah, that arm, like, she give it all. She pulled that strength from. I don't know where she get all that.
Bruh, let me just tell you this part because
she's cold.
She's cold. She's one of the best announcers in the game right now. Like one of the best to do it. Like Lillian Garcia, I love you. You are one of the best. But Samantha, she right now, she got it. Ricochet's a lucky son of a gun.
Oh, yes, he is. He's very lucky. He better watch out because Otis took a picture with her.
Oh boy.
You ain't see that picture? Keep talking. I'll find it.
Send it to me. But yeah, so like Samantha, you hear in her voice when Damien's getting ready to cash in, she's shocked. Like the tone and the excitement in her voice is like she can't believe that Damian Priest is about to cash in this Money in the Bank briefcase on Drew McIntyre at this moment. But lo and behold, he does it. South of Heaven, 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest wins the title, celebrates with the Judgment Day up on the ramp. And then you see the illustrious shot. You see the shot of like shock, disgust, embarrassment on Drew McIntyre's face. And then you see the camera. Whoa, Otis! Otis!
Big Otis.
Big O.
Told you, but Ricochet better watch out. Big Otis on the loose. He's
yeah.
Go ahead.
Like you see the camera pan to like CM Punk, and he's smiling, he's clapping, like he's enjoying the moment, while Drew is just like heated. So now you have this crazy dynamic of like Drew McIntyre, you got Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and now you got Damian Priest. Which, by the way, Damian Priest, the first Puerto Rican WWE World Heavyweight Champion in over 50 years. Boricua stand up. Yes.
Yeah, the thing, like, I'm always like, why it take so long for them to do like, man, why? I mean, like, come on now, like 50 years?
Bro, we got three champions crowned on night 2, all of them of Hispanic descent.
Who's the third one?
So you got Damian Priest,
okay,
from Puerto Rico, Bailey, Mexican, Cody Rhodes.
What is Cody? Cody's a white man.
Part Cuban. His mom is of Cuban descent.
I never knew.
He is part Cuban.
Okay. I never knew.
Yeah, when I saw that too, I was like, hold on, what? And I did my research. His mom is of Cuban descent.
That's dope. Now I was saying like 3, like who the third one? Did I miss him?
We did have another one. We do have Roxanne Perez. She's Puerto Rican, but she won the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. But we're talking about night 2 at WrestleMania. Let's see. So that match, the first match was fun to watch. Then you had the Philadelphia Street fight between Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, Karrion Kross, AOP. That was a lot of fun. You had Bubba Ray Dudley in Philadelphia as the guest referee, and they pulled off freaking Dudley boy spots left and right. Did the whole get the tables routine. There was a fun little moment. Oh, wait. You know what I forgot to mention?
What you get to mention?
Night one, we had the tag title split.
We did. It did happen.
Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, they won the SmackDown tag team titles, and then Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth won the tag team titles for Raw.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Well, yeah, so I nearly forgot that. I nearly forgot that match. But I'm glad I remembered.
It was a crazy weekend for wrestling.
It was, but let's see. So that, like I said, there was a whole bunch of spots. There was a moment where like they were gonna set up Karrion Kross on the table, and the thing collapsed because of a bad leg.
I saw that,
which was hilarious. The Philadelphia crowd was not happy with that table collapsing early, but they got another one. So hey, enjoy it.
Oh
and
yeah,
then you had the triple threat match between Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. That match was actually kind of fun to watch. It was a fun little match. There was a moment where, like, Kevin Owens, he's walking down the ramp for his entrance. He looks and he sees the freaking truck that Logan Paul rode in. So he kind of walks back towards the back. He walks back up the ramp and kind of cuts the corner. And then he comes out in the golf cart. So he's driving down, the golf cart stops halfway. And then Randy Orton's music hit. And you see, like, Kevin Owens kind of look down, look back, hold on, click, reverse, and just rides up. Goes back up and reverse the ramp. And then you see
Randy like,
F it.
I guess.
Like, the dynamic between Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, I would love to see these two as a tag team. It's like watching Braun Breaker and freaking Baron Corbin on NXT as a tag team. It's an interesting dynamic, but they mesh so well.
They do.
Like, there was a moment where, like, they both went down for the pin on Logan Paul, and they're like, hold on, wait, are we gonna do this now? Like, do you want to wait? Like, not yet? Okay, cool. So then Kevin Owens goes to turn around, and then you see Randy kind of like try to hit him with a surprise RKO, and he kind of gets away from it, and you see Randy kind of have that look on his face like, ooh, I didn't think this part through. Ooh. And then you see Kevin Owens, he's casual, like, he's like, really? You want to do this now? You want to do this now? Okay, let's go.
Yes, right now.
Like, that match was fun little chaotic triple threat match. It was great. There was a spot, and Randy Orton actually alluded to this. He was like, he's done a lot of RKOs.
Right.
One that he was going to attempt at this WrestleMania would probably be one of the more dangerous ones that he has done.
And what was that?
Kevin Owens goes to hit him with a pop-up powerbomb.
Right.
Randy Orton, halfway up, twisted his body, because when you're doing a pop-up powerbomb, you have the guy that's getting powerbomb. He's kind of sitting on your shoulders, and you're gonna drive him down.
Right.
And then popped up somehow, like, kind of like escaped it, twisted his body, and was like well above here, grabs and lands it perfectly.
Oh yeah, I saw him like
that was one of the cleanest like transitions into an RKO I've ever seen. And then Logan Paul comes from behind and steals the win, right?
Yep.
And then you had the Io Sky versus Bayley match, which was a great match itself. And by the way, I knew the three winners of those matches.
Of course, we all did.
No, I
You've been reading dirt sheets, haven't you?
Funny enough, I'm gonna say this. I was at church and like I heard who was gonna win. I had a Troy Polamalu moment. Do you remember the story that Pat McAfee likes to tell, where he's in Pittsburgh and he's gonna like do the fake field goal attempt and run it in for a touchdown, but then Polamalu like lines up in the C gap, and normally he doesn't do that, but he lines up anyway and they have to go for the field goal anyway.
Right.
Polamalu's like, everybody's like, yo, how did you know how to line up in the C gap? He's like, oh man, well, like, it's just like I just heard to line up that way one day. And what was the one nickname that they called him?
What they called him?
They called him Baby Jesus. Because one, he's a Christian, and two, like he always said, like he heard God, he always heard like at certain moments God would tell him to, do certain things or like jump certain routes or whatever.
Right.
I'm at church and I'm listening to the service, and this is just wild. I'm at the service and I'm listening to the pastor speak, and I'm just like I'm minding myself. I'm like I'm locking into the service, and I hear in the back. I kind of just get like Logan's winning the U.S. title, he's retaining. Bailey's winning the women's title, and Cody's winning the big match. Because you always have to keep in mind, like WWE, they're known for the swerve.
Look, I was already saying, I was thinking,
I had a feeling that Cody was gonna win. Like it was already pretty much set in stone. Like you're not gonna have The Rock and Roman win night one and build it up all this way just for Roman to retain.
right.
Now, WWE could get privy onto the fact like, oh, the fans, they know what's going on, so like we got to swerve, but I don't think that was the case. Like WWE is like, come on now, this man's held the title for 3 years. Like when the Panini season started,
Oh yeah,
like he was the main one that held it down, and like he's held it down for so long. The prolonged storytelling is crazy, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this: Bailey, Io Sky, they tore the house down. Love the match. Love how they're the chemistry. You saw the dynamic of the storytelling between how these two really play with each other. Like Bailey came out with a really dope entrance that kind of threw me off for a second. I was like, wait a minute, but she's Mexican, but why is she having an Egyptian setup? Kind of find out where she's from, the Bay Area, San Jose. There's a full-on Egyptian side of the city in San Jose that she was paying homage to.
okay. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man.
It threw me off when I saw it. I was like, what's going on?
Threw me off. Oh, buddy, on the right hand side of Bailey, he was struggling. You ain't see he was trying to keep up. Like he was like, hey, Bailey, one false move, I'm gonna drop you. He ain't look how he had. He looked like he's like, I ain't trying to grab no cheek. I'm just right here. My hands are right up. It's between the thigh. I ain't getting no cheek action. I don't want to. He was struggling. My man, like, man, this you got it on that side. You got it back there. Hey,
it was like she had a dope little entrance, and then Io Sky had a pretty her entrance was smooth, simple, but like just like rave type of style. And you saw like Damage Control like walk behind her, and I'm thinking to myself, oh crap, she's gonna have Damage Control in her corner. But I was so happy to see it was a one-on-one match, and like just the dynamic between Bailey and Io Sky. How they both like carried themselves in this match was just amazing to watch. You saw the culmination of just like Bailey finally getting her comeuppance and really taking back, that control that Io
the Damage Control.
I see what you did there. But then we got to talk about it, man. We got to jump right into the main event.
Now, I want to speak my piece on this match real quick.
I'm gonna let you have your piece because I got a lot to talk about this one.
Here's my issue. Like they said Dusty had that belt, but something they took the belt away. He wanted, but they stripped him of the belt or something like that. The belt.
So Dusty supposedly won the belt,
right?
But he didn't. Like I guess the ruling got overturned, so he had to give it right back.
That sucks. But here's my thing. In my opinion, as a wrestling enthusiast, we can agree to disagree. As a wrestling enthusiast who's done my history, done my research,
right?
The NWA title is the title of all titles, in my opinion. Like that is
the most prestigious title.
It's the most prestigious. It's the one that Hardy Race, Ric Flair, goddamn Dusty, Bob Backlund. Who else? I'm forgetting the name. I said Hardy Race.
You said Harley. You said Bob Backlund. Said Dusty. You said Ric Flair.
There's R-Truth had it.
Cody won it.
Cody won. Like so I'm like, the belt that you. That's the. But I get the principle about your dad.
It's more or less like this. It's more or less like this with Cody. Yes, his dad won the NWA title. And yes, he won the NWA title as well. They both have shared that moment.
Right.
The thing is, though, Cody was on the road. He was on this story of like, I have to win the title that was unjustly taken from my dad. Because his dad was in the WWF or in the WWF era, right?
Right.
The thing is, though, he never won. Technically, he did, but he didn't. If that
Right.
makes sense. He won the title, but he didn't really win it. He never had an actual title reign.
Right.
Think about it like that. He won it, but he didn't have a reign to go along with his win. It's like Drew McIntyre's situation to start out. He won the match. He won the title, but he didn't have an actual title reign. He didn't have a prolonged title reign of title defenses.
Right.
Dusty Rhodes won the match, but had the title taken from him because the win was supposedly overturned. So he won it, but he never really won it. So Cody was on the road of like, he wanted to win this match. He wanted to win this title. And in doing so, hold the belt that his dad never had. That was the journey he was on. And he nearly did it last year's WrestleMania, but it was stolen from him.
But but the build up to the Cody's entrance was amazing.
Can we talk about the pop that Brandy Rhodes had?
I was like, okay,
bro. Like Cody comes up, he has his mask on, has this like different like setup for his main event title match. Like the setup, the background, the mask he was wearing was crazy. And then you see Brandy Rhodes walk up right next to him, and the crowd popped instantly for her. And I was like, that's cold.
Very. And like the match was overall me. I was kind of waiting for the shenanigans to happen. Like,
same thing here. Like the way the match was going, it was slow cooked. Like I was listening to a YouTuber kicking it with Ross. He was breaking down the match, and he said,
I think I know who that is.
Yeah, this dude basically said like, look, The Rock and Cody were pretty much like slow cooking this match, and that's how The Rock that's how Roman operates. He likes to slow cook matches. He likes to build them up. Not a lot of quick action. Like he wants to build the pace up to where the crescendo is going to hit.
Right.
And I mean, again, I was waiting for the shenanigans to happen. I was waiting for Cody. I thought Cody was going to ask him, yo, what the rules are.
Huh?
I was waiting for it. I was like, yo, what rules are we running with? What's the stipulation?
He's like, bloodline, well, that's a stipulation. That's what you think it is. We're going to move your ass and we're going to cheat a little bit.
But let's talk about it, bro. Like, watching that match, like, what did you think about it?
When I heard Sahara, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, for a split second, I'm like, if somehow they got Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins to come out, I knew Seth was gonna come out. I'm like, ain't no way. And they were looking like
I low-key thought John was like coming out the woodwork too. I was like, ain't no way you just got John Moxley from AEW to swing out to Philadelphia for this.
I'm like, how much did you pay Tony Khan to okay this? That would have said Roman. That would have said it. People would still be screaming right now. People would still be hollering right now. But then
so, when I heard that Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield roll call, I was like, hold on, what's going on here? And then you just see Roman slide in all of a sudden and just like not like Superman punch Seth and knock him out, and you see the chair in the ring. And a lot of people that I've seen that have this reaction, they're like, what the heck was Seth doing? Why did he just like he didn't get a lick in? Like, why did he bring a chair in but not get a chance to use it? Like, it makes no sense. It makes perfect sense.
It does now when you send me the information.
It makes sense. And let me go ahead and break it down. I just want to
good people.
let me go ahead and just break this down because the lore behind the lore behind all of this plays out perfectly. So when Seth was speaking to Cody Rhodes before all of this played out, right? When they were going to be when Cody was going to be taking on the bloodline again, right? With The Rock now being a part of it.
Right.
What was the one thing that Seth told Cody?
Oh, yeah, he said he's going to be his shield.
His shield. Let's go back 10 years. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, they're in the Shield, right? Then you got Triple H, Randy Orton, and this is when Batista left. So Triple H is basically saying that he always has a plan B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was the plan B?
Seth Rollins.
And what did Seth Rollins do?
Bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. Kirkpatrick.
Basically, chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns, and he lands on that bottom rope, right? And so for all this time, Roman Reigns has not forgotten about this moment. Let's go back to the Royal Rumble where Roman and the bloodline with Sami Zayn have Kevin Owens tied up on the rope. What happens? He hands Sami Zayn the chair and he tells him to prove himself. And what does Sami do?
Cracks Roman Reigns.
And guess where Roman Reigns landed?
On the ropes.
Again. And that brought a flashback to him, right? And then now we're having this moment where Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are finally facing off against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another layer to this. Seth is speaking to Cody and basically tells him, look, I feel like I'm partially responsible for the monster that Roman Reigns is. I created this because of what I did with the chair shot.
Yep.
And matter of fact, when Roman and Seth were facing off against each other for the title, how did Seth Rollins come into the match?
Shield.
And what did he have on?
Shield gear.
Mm-hmm. And what did Seth Rollins have on in this match at night 2?
Shield gear.
He dyed his hair literally after his match with Drew McIntyre. He went to the back and dyed his hair so that he can have the old Shield look.
That's dedication.
You want to know why he did that?
Did he have a streak? Did he have a blonde streak? No, that would have been even 10 times better.
He did. He had the blonde.
I missed it.
Yeah, if you look at pictures that are floating around, there's a moment where you see Cody Rhodes kind of like go underneath the rope after he's won, and he's going to shake Seth Rollins' hand. You notice that half of his hair, Seth Rollins' hair, is blonde.
That's crazy.
He went full out Shield gear, and the reason that he did this, the reason he went full out is because what did he tell Cody at that one point? He said, "I'm going to be your shield." So what does he do? He comes out in the Shield music, wearing the gear that the Shield wore, with the steel chair in hand. He gets cracked with a Superman punch, laid out in the ring, right? The Rock is in the ring. Undertaker comes out. Well, we'll get to all the shenanigans, whatever. But like this is like how everything shook out. And matter of fact, we'll just get to the shenanigans right now, right?
Yeah, because we had an hour now, so let's boil down.
Let's jump to shenanigans real quick, and then I'll tie everything in with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and whatnot. So we got Cody Rhodes, Roman. They're going back and forth. They're going at it. Kendo sticks, tables are getting involved. A whole lot of stuff, right? Cody Rhodes gets momentum, hits a crossroads, or like he's getting ready to hit a crossroads or whatever, and all of a sudden you got Jimmy Uso super kicking friggin' Cody Rhodes. He tries to get Roman to hop in, and then you got Jey Uso popping out. Both they battle it out on top of the ramp, and then you see Jey spear Jimmy off the stage onto some tables. They're done for the night.
Yep.
And
That was a deep dive that he took. That was like, it's like he came around, then he swooped around like he was like, it's gonna hurt so bad. Boom!
Boom. And then you see freaking you see Cody and Roman going at it in the ring even more. You see Cody, boom, crossroads, number 1. Pick him up, boom, crossroads, number 2. And then reminiscent of what happened at last year's WrestleMania, Solo Sikoa comes out, Samoan Spike tries to get Roman to like win the match. He drags Roman over, 1, 2, kicks out. And then he picks up Cody Rhodes again, tells Roman, end it, or I am. Come on, end it, I am. Like, have a little dynamic with each other. And then all of a sudden, it's like, you see the spear Samoan Spike combo, right? Boom, Cody Rhodes is down. And you're thinking, okay, that's it. Roman done took it, right? 1, 2, kick out. And then, like, Solo is pissed. Now, he's beside him. He doesn't know what to do. He's like, oh, my God. He's about to lose it. And then all of a sudden, you hear the trumpets blare, the bright blue and orange. You see John Cena rushing down the ring. And John Cena, Solo Sikoa, they've had history. So now you see John clear the ring out of Solo. Roman gets up. He picks up Roman Reigns, hits him with an attitude adjustment. F you for the old school fans.
Oh, yeah.
Slides out the ring, clears out the Spanish announce table, picks up Solo Sikoa, and attitude adjustment onto the table. Table collapses, and he's just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. What's going to happen next? And then the Rock's music hit. And now you got John Cena sliding back into the ring. The Rock is making his way down the ramp. And now you see The Rock and John Cena in the ring, face to face. They have that classic face off where like they both look at different sides of the ring, acknowledge the crowd. John Cena tries to like do the you can't see me, tries to swing off, and freaking The Rock, just all it took was just like hook, get down, get your ass out the ring. And then that's when Seth Rollins comes in with the Shield. And this is where it all ties in, right? Roman Reigns clears out Seth Rollins. The Rock looks at Seth, looks at Cody, looks at Mama Rhodes, and basically is kind of like chirping at her, kind of taunting her, takes that weight belt off, is getting ready to, whoop up Cody one good time. And then all of a sudden you hear the illustrious gong hit the arena.
Look here, let me tell you something. Shenanigans is going on. I'm like, yo, if I have that, I'm like, I don't take a shot. I'm like, if I hear that glass break, I would have lost my mind.
And everybody was anticipating it. But here's the thing. Supposedly, word around the rumor mill is that they couldn't get a deal with Austin. They couldn't clear it. They couldn't catch a deal in time. So Taker, since he was in Philly, they asked if he could do it. And he was like, all right.
I'm with it. But so we want to make this, so this video will be an hour long, 2 hours long. To wrap it up, Cody wins. The story is complete. We're in a new era of wrestling now.
Oh yeah, hold on. What can I tie in? Let me just finish. I gotta tie up the loose end before we go.
All right, do that.
All right. So Cody does win, but there's a point that I want to point out. There's a point that we have to drive home.
Okay.
So remember how I brought up the whole Seth Rollins history line with him and Roman Reigns, right?
Right.
So you got Seth Rollins in the ring on one side, Cody Rhodes on the other. You got the weight belt and you got the steel chair. Roman Reigns looks at it, standing up, picks up the steel chair. Now, he has an option. He can go after Cody and just end Cody right there and win the match, right?
Right.
But he sees Seth Rollins in the ring attire of the Shield, chair in hand.
Right.
And turns his attention towards Seth and pretty much gets his revenge for 10 years worth of trauma and 10 years worth of heartbreak because of what happened in the Shield. And that's what cost him. That's what allows Cody Rhodes to counter a spear into 3 crossroads in the middle of the ring to win the title that his dad never had and to finish his story like right then and there.
And
And
it
like,
felt good to see that too.
oh my gosh, like it was amazing. Like
Everybody was choked up. Everybody like
Samantha Irvin, the announcer.
she's like, you're a winner. You like, you know how that people have to go, yeah, you're a winner. And
Because she
Cody! What?
it was so like, and again, Samantha Irvin, we got to give her flowers. The emotion that she brought to the table with announcing the winners and whatnot was phenomenal. It elevated the energy in the room, in the building of WrestleMania and whatnot. So, I mean, again, we got Damian Priest, the new heavyweight champion. Bayley's your new women's champion. You got Cody, who's now a undisputed champion. The only two titles that were retained was Logan Paul's U.S. title and Rhea Ripley's women's title. Those were the only two that.
There's only been 3 people to ever hold what they say, the ROH, no, NWA, WWE, and what's the other belt? It's another belt.
ROH? New Japan?
ROH. No, it's another. It's AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, and Bob Backlund. It's one. No, there's another. It's 3 belts that only Cody, AJ, and this other gentleman held in WWE. I know it's WWE, ROH. No, the NWA and WWE is another one.
Really?
Cody didn't have a New Japan title.
He didn't?
No.
Did he have ROH?
He had ROH. AJ didn't have ROH.
Oh, okay. So
he's 3 belts.
So he's
beside, but we'll figure out later. But send us home.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Hey, look, man. WrestleMania weekend was crazy. And the Raw after WrestleMania finna be nuts as well, bro. Philadelphia gonna be nuts. Like, bro, it was nuts all the way around, but I loved it. Solid 9.5 out of 10. And like, this was the very first WrestleMania of the Paul Levesque era. We are in for fun times in pro wrestling again. It is a great time to be a wrestling fan. With all that being said, it's your boy Westside Izzy P in the building. It's your boy June in the building. We are the show about nothing. The show about nothing.
We talk about a whole lot of nothing, but a whole lot of something.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, we will catch y'all later. Stay tuned. New episode coming to y'all real soon, man. Peace. We out of here.
Peace out. Peace out.